So, if it isn't obvious by now, I really like the Pokémon franchise. It's what got me into RPGs, my favorite genre of gaming. The games surprisingly have a lot more depth to them than anyone would think, and they're overall just fun games to play. Most Pokemon fans praise games like Gold and Silver, Red and Blue, Diamond and Pearl, but the Pokemon games that a lot of people don't like are Black and White, and I'll be honest, I didn't really like them that much either until I replayed them, where I thought they were a lot better than I remember them being. So, it got me thinking, do Pokemon Black and White really deserve their bad reputation, or are they really that bad and I just have weird taste in gaming? Of course, if you've heard the hate that Pokemon Black and White get, you'll know that the main complaint about them are the uncreative Pokemon designs, with examples like Garbodor and Vanilluxe. And you've also heard that there have always been uncreative designs of Pokemon like Bug and Electrode. And to be fair, both sides have points. Yes, there are some uncreative Pokemon in Unova, but those lazy designs are more complex than any Kanto Pokemon. And besides, just because they don't look creative doesn't mean they're bad completely. Vanilluxe has high special attack and learns a variety of good eyesight moves, and Electrode is actually the bestest Pokemon of the first generation, which is actually a lot better than it sounds. Not to mention, there are still some cool Unova Pokemon like Haxorus and Crocodile. There is another problem with Black and White, and that's the experience gain. For some reason, they decided to change it so that the amount of experience you gain depends on how high or how low the level of the opponent Pokemon is. So, for instance, if a level 50 Emboar were up against like a level 14 Sandile, the Emboar would gain a lot less experience than a Pokemon that's lower leveled. Although, I do wonder why anyone would be grinding a level 50 Pokemon on one that you find very early. I will admit that this is probably the biggest drawback of Black and White, but I still think that the games are far from being fundamentally flawed. Besides, at least you won't be as easily overleveled like in Pokemon X and Y. Despite there being some other things people whine about with these games, I'm just gonna skip that and jump ahead to my complaints and praises for the 5th generation games. Some problems with Black and White include the Unova region being too linear, the inability to catch previous generation Pokemon until the post-game, the removal of PC item storage, and the Pokemon musicals being a huge downgrade of the Pokemon contest. And yes, I will admit that I thought the contests were enjoyable. But how about the positives? For one, these games really focused on story and characters, which is good since story is really important in RPGs. Also, even though there weren't many changes to the metagame, triple battles and rotation battles were still fun. Plus, the music in these games were excellent. I mean, all Pokemon games have good soundtracks, but these games just nailed it. It's too bad they're the only games with music that plays when you're low on health instead of that obnoxious beeping. So, even though I only listed a few positive things about Pokemon Black and White, there's still a lot more good things about the games. I think that if you didn't like them on your first playthrough, you should at least give the games a second try before giving them a final verdict, even if you claim to be a Gen 1er, or you're one of the 7 people who actually are Gen 1ers. These may not be my absolute favorite Pokemon games, but I still consider them great regardless. Until next time, this is Blue10, recommending people to play games again even if they didn't like them.